You need to avoid these critical mistakes. I've seen hundreds of business owners make these errors, and they end up costing them thousands of dollars, legal headaches, and, in some cases, complete loss of their liability protection. So today, I'm going to walk you through the biggest mistakes people make before starting an LLC and how you can avoid them so you don't lose money or get sued. Without further ado, let's dive in. All right, guys, let's talk about the LLC formation trap. Starting an LLC seems simple on the surface. You file some paperwork, pay a fee, and boom, you're in business, right? Wrong. There are so many hidden mistakes that first-time LLC owners make that can come back to haunt them years later. Some of these mistakes will cost you extra money. Others will cause you to lose your liability protection entirely. And some will create massive tax problems down the road. I want you to avoid all of these issues, so pay close attention because what I'm about to share with you could literally save your business. Let's start with mistake number 1. Choosing the wrong state to form your LLC. A lot of people think they need to form their LLC in Delaware or Nevada because they've heard these states are business-friendly. And while it's true that Delaware and Nevada have some advantages for large corporations, for most small business owners, forming an LLC in one of these states is actually a terrible idea. Here's why. If you form your LLC in Delaware, but you actually operate your business in California, you'll have to register as a foreign LLC in California anyway. This means you'll pay filing fees in Delaware and California. You'll also have to pay annual fees and taxes in both states. You're literally doubling your costs for no reason. Philip, so where should I form my LLC? In most cases, you should form your LLC in the state where you actually do business. If you live in Texas and your business operates in Texas, form your LLC in Texas. It's that simple. The only exception to this rule is if you're running a large business with operations in multiple states or if you're planning to raise venture capital. But for most small business owners, just form your LLC in your home state. Now let's talk about mistake number 2, not getting an EIN right away. An EIN is an employer identification number. It's basically a social security number for your business. A lot of new LLC owners skip this step because they think they don't need it if they don't have employees. This is a huge mistake. Here's why you need an EIN even if you're a single-member LLC with no employees. First, you need it to open a business bank account. Most banks won't let you open a business account without an EIN. Second, you need it to keep your personal information private. If you don't have an EIN, you'll have to use your social security number on business forms and contracts. This puts you at risk for identity theft. Third, you'll need it if you ever want to hire employees or contractors. And fourth, having an EIN makes your business look more professional and legitimate. The good news is that getting an EIN is free, and it only takes about 10 minutes on the IRS website. There's literally no reason not to get one immediately after forming your LLC. Philip, what's the next mistake I need to avoid? Great question. Let's talk about mistake number 3, mixing personal and business finances. This is one of the most common and most dangerous mistakes LLC owners make. A lot of people form an LLC and then they never actually separate their personal and business money. They use their personal bank account for business expenses. They pay business bills with their personal credit card. They transfer money back and forth without any documentation. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Here's why this is so dangerous. When you mix personal and business finances, you're piercing the corporate veil. The corporate veil is the legal separation between you as an individual and your LLC as a separate entity. This separation is what protects your personal assets from business lawsuits. But if you mix your finances, a court can rule that your LLC is just your alter ego. And if that happens, your personal assets like your home, your car, and your savings accounts can be seized to pay business debts or lawsuit judgments. You will have completely lost the liability protection that you formed the LLC to get in the first place. Here's what you need to do to avoid this mistake. First, open a dedicated business bank account as soon as your LLC is formed. Second, get a business credit card and use it only for business expenses. Third, never pay personal expenses from your business account. And fourth, document every transfer between your personal and business accounts. Treat your LLC like a real separate business entity because legally, that's what it is. Now let's talk about mistake number 4, not having an operating agreement. An operating agreement is a document that outlines how your LLC will be run. It covers things like ownership percentages, profit distribution, management structure, and what happens if an owner wants to leave the business. A lot of single-member LLC owners think they don't need an operating agreement because they're the only owner. This is wrong. Even single-member LLC should have an operating agreement. Here's why. First, it adds another layer of protection for the corporate veil. It shows that you're treating your LLC as a separate legal entity. Second, if you ever bring on a partner or investor, you'll already have the framework in place. Third, some banks and lenders require an operating agreement before they'll work with you. And fourth, if something happens to you, your operating agreement will make it much easier for your heirs to take over the business or wind it down properly. The good news is that creating an operating agreement doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. You can find templates online or work with an attorney to create one that fits your specific situation. Just make sure you actually have one in place. Let's talk about mistake number 5, forgetting about ongoing compliance requirements. A lot of people think that once they file their LLC formation paperwork, they're done. But forming an LLC is not a one-time event. Every state has ongoing compliance requirements that you need to meet to keep your LLC in good standing. These requirements vary by state, but they typically include things like filing an annual report, paying annual fees or franchise taxes, maintaining a registered agent, and keeping your business information up to date with the state. If you fail to meet these requirements, your state can administratively dissolve your LLC. And if your LLC gets dissolved, you lose all of your liability protection. You could also face penalties and fees to reinstate your LLC. Philip, how do I stay on top of all these requirements? Set up a system. Put reminders in your calendar for when your annual report is due. Make sure you have a registered agent who will forward you important mail from the state. And check your state's business filing website at least once a year to make sure your LLC is still in good standing. Here's my final conclusion. Starting an LLC is a smart move for protecting your personal assets and building a legitimate business, but you have to do it right. Avoid forming your LLC in the wrong state. Get your EIN immediately. Keep your personal and business finances completely separate. Create an operating agreement even if you're the only owner, and stay on top of your ongoing compliance requirements. If you skip any of these steps, you're putting your business and your personal assets at risk. Take the time to do things correctly from the start, and you'll save yourself a massive amount of headaches and money down the road. Now, before you go, I want to share something with you. Forming an LLC yourself is very stressful, and as someone who has formed LLCs for most of my businesses, I won't recommend the DIY approach. Instead, use professional LLC services. All you need to do is avoid overpaying for any services. Make sure to use our LLC cost calculator. The link is inside the video description. This will help you compare prices and find the best service for your needs without getting ripped off. That's all I've got for today's video, guys. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're growing this channel, and we're just doing everything we can to give you more information that will help you build a tax-free life. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.